Let's talk about parental alienation. Parental alienation is a junk science and gaslighting tactic that was invented in 1985 by a guy named Richard A. Gardner, who also wrote this book, which offensively co-opts the Salem trials that unfairly persecuted women. In his writings, Gardner wrote that pedophilia has been considered the norm by the vast majority of individuals in the history of the world, and that the determinant as to whether the experience will be traumatic is the social attitude towards these encounters. No. Gardner also problematically wrote that when people conjure up a visual image of a child being sexually abused, they gratify vicariously their own pedophilic impulses. What? Oh, but it doesn't stop there. He also wrote that, in agreement with Freud, he believed that all infants are polymorphous perverse, and believed that everyone has some pedophilia within them. I think he should speak for himself. So basically what you need to know about parental alienation is that it copycats the legitimate behaviors that a child exhibits when they either witness or suffer from family violence, incest, or domestic abuse. And instead of attributing the behaviors of the child to its actual cause, which is the abusive father says, oh, those behaviors aren't because I'm abusing the child, it's because the mom is abusing the child. And he's categorically believed. So how does a nutjob like Richard Gardner become so popular with his junk science of parental alienation? Because of this guy, David L. Levy, the founder of the federally funded Children's Rights Council, a father's rights front group. You see, the CRC was also founded in 1985, the same year that Richard Gardner created his junk science parental alienation. And since 1985, they had sold his books because he couldn't get them sold by any other publisher. But by the early 2000s, the scientific community started to catch on to Dr. Gardner's horrifically perverse statements about incest and discovered that his parental alienation completely lacked scientific basis. The CRC was left with the dilemma. How are they going to continue to use parental alienation while not looking like pedophile supporters and accomplish their agenda of preventing divorce at all costs? So they came up with a plan to co-opt the master co-opter and replace it with a feminine face. They also retitled parental alienation syndrome as child alienation. But as my grandma used to say, if it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. And now, because of parental alienation and its wide acceptance and continued use for whatever reason I have no idea, family courts, from the judges on down to marriage and family therapists, do not believe battered moms or child abuse survivors when they report abuse by their fathers, even if they have substantial evidence to submit to the court. What then results in the ensuing custody dispute is the removal of 100% of a mother's custody of her child merely for reporting domestic abuse, and the re-victimization of children who are then forced to endure custody under their abuser, all because of Richard Gardner and the CRC. Like, share, and follow us at Protective Makua. I'll be posting more about parental alienation and how it screwed up the state laws in Hawaii. We're just getting started.